Welcome in, everybody. And this is the podcast of Whispers in the Shadows. I'm Whispers, and tonight we're talking about the Night Stalker. So, shall we get on with it? Let's start with. Oops, hold on one second. Okay, his name was Richard Ramirez, and he was born in America. His family was poor. He was the youngest of five children. Some of his siblings suffered from birth defects. His parents were Julian Ramirez. He was a Mexican immigrant. He worked in the Santa Fe Railroad. He was strict and abusive toward Richard and his siblings and often lashing out violently. His mother was Mercedes Ramirez, and she worked in a boot factory. She was exposed to toxic chemicals during her pregnancy, which some speculate may have affected Richard's development. So these chemical exposures could have it affected the kids before they were born. They could have been born with birth defects. His father was very abusive at home. His Richard experienced tumultuous and fearful household. Said he had to escape his father's rage. He often spent nights at local cemeteries with his friends, leading to the fascination with death and darkness. Um, he in, he was influenced by a cousin named Mike, who was a Vietnam War veteran who boasted about committing violent acts during the war, including SA and murder. He showed him pictures when he was young that were graphic photos of things that happened and demonstrated how to kill people effectively. Now, Mike, of course, in 1973, he shot and killed his wife, Jessie, in front of 13-year-old Richard. And, of course, that had a very bad effect on him. It desensitized him to, I would say, it desensitized him to violence. It says he began using drugs like marijuana and LSD as a teenager, further distancing himself from any sense of normalcy or stability in his life, which he never had stability in his life anyway. It says while Mercedes loved her children, she was overburdened by the family struggles. Her inability to shield Richard from his father's abuse or Mike's influence contributed to his detachment. Says one of Richard's brothers, Reuben, was arrested for burglary, setting an early example of criminal behavior. Of course, Richard also idolized his older brother and cousin, a burglar, who taught him how techniques for breaking into homes. Of course, you know, apparently by now he knew a lot of things. Bad things, but he knew a lot of things. He struggled in school due to he was undiagnosed epilepsy and was often bullied. These issues combined with his family environment contributed to his social alienation. This would be some of this would be over nature over nurture, but I don't know. So many poor families are undiagnosed, but I don't know. It says his family inability to provide stability shield him from harmful influences left him vulnerable to the violent tendencies that emerged in his adolescence and adulthood. He became the Night Stalker. He was a notorious serial killer and a burglar and a essayist in Southern California. His reign was from 1984 to 1985 till they finally caught him. His crime spree made him one of the most feared and infamous criminals in the U.S. history. He was born in 1960, February the 29th. He grew up troubled, of course. We've already went over that. It says Ramirez's crime spree spanned from 1984 to 1985, during which he committed numerous heinous acts. His murder count convicted of 13 murders, but suspected of more. Other crimes, numerous essays, burglaries, and assaults, often involved satanic rituals and messages left at the crime scenes. Modus operandi. Victims, a wide range including men, women, and children from various backgrounds and ages. Typically broke into homes. His entry was he typically broke into homes at night, hence the nickname Night Stalker. His tactics, he used guns, pew-pews, knives, hammers, and blunt objects to kill his or incapacitate victims. His signatures frequently left pentagrams or satanic symbols at crime scenes. He really is one of the worst of the worst. This is awful. Maybe next time I will pick a little bit somebody different. I really truly believe he is the devil. One of his more notable crimes was Jenny Benkow, June 28, 1984. Ramirez's first known murder involving a stabbing and a burglary. Second one, Maria Hernandez and Dale Okanaz, Okazaki, March 1985. Maria survived by shielding herself with her hands, but Dale was killed. Vincent and Maxine Zazzara, March 1985. A particularly brutal crime. Maxine was. I'm not going to read that. Nope. He was feared in Los Angeles. The media frenzy in public were immense as Ramirez struck seemingly at random. A key fingerprint was the breakthrough was a key fingerprint found in a stolen car used by Ramirez, and tips from the public helped authorities identify him. His capture was on August 1931, August the 31st, 1985. Ramirez was recognized by civilians in East South Los Angeles. A mob chased and subdued him until police arrived. His trial duration lasted over 4 years during 1989. His conviction found guilty of 13 murders, 5 attempted murders, 11 essays, and 14 burglaries. Sentenced death penalty through he remained on death row until his death. Now, he died on June the 7th, 2013. Complications related to B cell lymphoma while on death row at San Quentin prison. Says Ramirez remains infamous as one of the most terrifying serial killers in the U.S. history. They are going to do a docu-series on him on Peacock. It starts next week, I think. I can't remember what day. It seems like the 10th. I will have to check it again. But yeah. But anyway, that is the life and time of Richard Ramirez. He is one of the worst of the worst, and I wouldn't want to meet him in a dark alley. But thank you for listening. And if you find somebody that you want me to go over, let me know. Thank you. And y'all have a great night. This has been Whispers in the Shadows. Thank you. Goodbye.